Hey guys, welcome back to Sparkman Homestead. My name is Krista. I am in the kitchen today making Steven something he has requested. He has requested that I make him some pumpkin walnut muffins. So I am quickly getting a batch of that into the oven because I am also myself kind of wanting to have like a cranberry muffin. For some reason today I'm craving like a cranberry lemon, something along that lines. I'm gonna look in my freezer and see what we have and see if I can find a recipe. But right now I am making Steven a pumpkin walnut muffin. I am kind of going off of a recipe. I got this recipe at the Domestic Rebel. It's a blog. I will link it below for you guys, but I am kind of, again, going off of it a little bit. I'm adding walnuts to it. Yeah, so I'm just kind of making it my own style. But he has actually requested these because he really loves them. He likes them for breakfast, and they're really quick and easy for him to take. So I thought I would whip up a batch for him. So today is day 17, I believe. I think we're on day 17. No, actually, we're on 18. Yeah, today we're on day 18. So I have another arm roast that was getting freezer burnt. So I just pulled that out. It's been defrosting in my fridge overnight, and so it's ready to use. We are gonna make an Instant Pot recipe tonight. It is just like an arm roast, but it has this balsamic vinegar. It sounded really good. So we are gonna make that up. It comes together in about an hour, but I am feeling like I kind of want to get supper kind of made ahead of time. I don't know why. I'm just feeling the urge to have everything done so that I can relax tonight. So we'll get that made up, and then it says to serve it over rice or a mashed potato. We had rice last night with our supper, so I think I'm gonna do mashed potatoes tonight, guys, and I think today is the day we're gonna make it from the canned potatoes. I know I keep talking about it, but I think today is the actual day. So I'm gonna do a little bit of research and see if I can find out any information to do it, because I do not wanna waste canned potatoes because it's food and it's expensive. So I'm gonna do a little bit of research before I try to experiment with that. But yeah, that's the plan for today. So I'm gonna get these started because they take, well, you see, this recipe is for bread, and Steven doesn't like the bread. He likes muffins because he says they're easier to take with them. So the recipe says it takes about 15 minutes to cook, but usually when I make muffins, they run approximately 25 minutes. So we're just gonna improvise here. So again, I'll link the recipe for you so you guys can have like the base of what this recipe is, but I'm going off of it a little bit. So last night or yesterday afternoon, I pulled out some pumpkin from my freezer because again, I'm trying to get that freezer cleaned out. I also have another pumpkin that I have to get roasted, so I really wanted to get the pumpkin out of the freezer. So because it was pumpkin from my garden, it's not canned pumpkin we're using, I have been letting it drain. I've already done it. Before I canned this pumpkin, I let it drain for almost 2 days in the fridge, and I got so much liquid. And I thought, okay, well, it's frozen now. And look at and I've dumped this twice, and I still have liquid coming out of it. That pumpkin, those are Long Island cheese pumpkins, very watery pumpkin. So anyways, it's been draining, got it right here. So that is what we're gonna use today in our recipe. So I got my oven preheating right now. I've got my muffin tin lined with these, just these liners. I got them from Azure Standard. So it literally just says in this recipe, take all the ingredients and dump them into a bowl and mix it. So it's a very vague recipe. So what I'm gonna do first, this is just from me just baking over the years. I am going to get my butter and sugar cream together first, and then from there we will add the other ingredients. So yeah, we're gonna use half a cup of butter, so 1 stick of butter. That's just my oven preheated. And then we're gonna use 1 cup of dark brown sugar. Guys, this is the brown sugar, dark brown sugar I made with you, and look what happened to it. All the molasses set to the bottom of it. And it happened after I put this guy in it. So I don't know why that all went to the bottom. That's so weird. I think we're gonna have to give this a little stir. It's super soft though. The teddy bear is working. I love those things. I will definitely leave a link below for that on Amazon. That's where I got that from, and they really work. Love it. Now the recipe does not specify whether you need to loosely pack it or heavy pack it. I just did a light little pack on it. So we're gonna add the 1 cup of dark brown sugar. Okay, I'm going to get this cream together so that it's nice and incorporated before I add everything else. Okay, so I have everything pretty good and combined in here. Couple of things. If you do not have dark brown sugar, what you can do is just add white granulated sugar and some molasses. And that will be, that is exactly what dark brown sugar is. It's just sugar, like white sugar mixed with molasses. So if you don't have it and you have those 2 ingredients, you'll be perfectly fine. Just add what you like to get to that dark color. Oh, I also wanted to show you guys, these are the muffin things that I'm using. I really, really like them. They're almost like they've already been like sprayed, so I find that the muffins just pop out really easy from them. So that is what we're using. And then another thing, I saved this butter wrapper because look at all the butter that's still stuck on it. So I save my butter wrappers and I just put them in the fridge, and then when anything calls that it needs to be buttered, I just take one of these out and use it so that I'm not wasting any of that butter that's stuck on that. So this is gonna go into the fridge. Okay, so we are gonna get the rest of the kind of the wet ingredients in here. I have 1 cup of pumpkin puree. Not pumpkin pie filling, this is just plain pumpkin. Then we're also gonna add 2 eggs. I'm also gonna add the salt to the wet ingredients. I normally add the salt to the wet ingredients. I have this one cookie recipe long, like years and years ago, and it said to add the salt with the wet ingredients, and I've never done that before. And so I always just did what the recipe said, and you know what? It's really good when you mix it with the wet and not too dry. I find that it gets it better incorporated. So we're just gonna do a quick little mix on this, and then we'll add the dry ingredients. I'm just stopping every now and then just to scrape down the sides of it so that it gets all incorporated. Get it mixed up. Everything is all incorporated together. Now I'm gonna add my dry ingredients. And to this bowl, I like to just mix all my dry ingredients together so that I can just like do this with it, and that way I know that they're all incorporated. So in this bowl I have, and again, I'm linking the recipe below so you guys have all the exact measurements. I have cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, clove, baking powder, baking soda, and all-purpose flour in here. So we're just gonna dump this all in, and we are gonna start this slowly because I do not want it to all puff up on me. Okay, I am just pretty much just doing this until it is all incorporated. I do not want to overmix it. So I think there's still a little bit of wet stuff on there. So I'm just gonna scrape the sides down and then put it back on for a couple more seconds. We're gonna mix in about 1 cup of almond pieces. These are just like, I think they're called baker's pieces. Like, they're just pieces of walnut. So we're just gonna stir in 1 cup of those, and that should be enough. I'd imagine if you use like pecans too, that would probably be super yummy in here. Okay, so we're just gonna use our cookie scoop here, and we are just gonna fill these. This might be a little bit too big for these tips. Okay, so we got that many. I do have an empty space. So whenever I have an empty space with a muffin tin, I always put a little bit of water in it because it helps kind of add steam to the oven. So we're gonna put these in, and again, we're gonna go 25 minutes. And then after 25 minutes, we'll do the toothpick check and see if it is ready. I'm going to get that meat started. It does take about an hour to pressure cook. So we're gonna get that recipe started because again, I really have a goal of trying to get all my stuff done before the night because it's easier on me to have my dinner done and all I have to do is just reheat it. So let's get that started. So I had about, I think it was a little under a 3-pound arm roast. I went ahead, the recipe said to cut away the bones and the fatty pieces. So I went ahead and cut them and I just put them in this bag and I purposely left some extra meat on the bone because I am planning on making a, it's pronounced a pho or pho, I don't know, I think it's pho. So I'm planning on making one of those and you do need to have some meaty beef bones. So I am just going to put this in my freezer. This is a super good marrow bone also. So I want to definitely save this because if I don't make the pho recipe, then I will make beef broth with this. So this is just some meat pieces. So now we have this chunked and cut into fairly large pieces. So we are just going to put this into our Instapot. So we have the beef in here now, and it says to put a sliced up onion on top of it, but because Steven does not like onions, I don't want to have to worry about him having to pick all of these little delicate onion pieces out, but I really want the onion flavor in there. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to take an onion and I'm just going to quarter it. And then that way they're just chunks and I can just either, if I want them, I can shred the onion up and have it. But I'm still getting that flavor in there. So, because onion adds such a good flavor to stuff. And I hate leaving it out. Okay, so we have our onion in there and it says to sprinkle with salt on top of this. So we will sprinkle with quite a bit of salt. So now we have to pour all of the ingredients over top of this. So we are going to use some beef broth. It says half a cup of beef broth. And I'm gonna save this in my fridge because that's really good bone broth. 1/3 of balsamic vinegar. I think that's the reason why I kind of gravitated to this recipe is because I absolutely love balsamic vinegar. You could use like a balsamic reduction in this also. It would just make it really, really sweet. We're just gonna use regular balsamic vinegar because it doesn't specify whether it to be a reduction or not. So we get that poured over top. Then we need 3 tablespoons of minced garlic. You guys know I love my Costco minced garlic. It is so easy to use. So I'm just gonna add like probably a heaping teaspoon. And then we need 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire. 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. Now this is where, when I was putting that salt on, I thought, oh no, I think I put too much salt because this is really salty, but I guess we'll just see. And then we need a tablespoon of honey. Okay, and then last thing we need to add is about half a teaspoon of red pepper chili flakes. Just sprinkle them on top. Okay, so we're gonna put the insert in. We'll get this plugged in here. And I just changed out my seal here because when I make yogurt, I don't want to use, like you can see the seal, it's all kind of brown. I don't want to use this seal because it will add flavor to your yogurt. So I actually have a special seal that I use for yogurt and then one that I use for my regular Instapot, and it's helped tremendously. You can get extra seals on Amazon. So I just changed out, put my regular cooking one on. Okay, get the lid turned on. We are going to get it put into the seal mode. Okay, so we are going to pressure cook it, but we need to have it on a high pressure. So we just turned it on to high, and then we are going to do this for 45 minutes. Okay, so pressure Pressure cook, pressure level high, and 45 minutes. All done. This is in sealing. So we are gonna let this do its thing. It'll take a while to come to pressure and then to actually do the cooking. And then it says that you need to let it steam naturally for 15 minutes and then come do a manual release. So we will get that cooking. It'll take a while. And again, I will link the recipe below for you. Everything that we are making in this video, I know where the recipes are coming from. Ooh, and that is our muffins, so we need to check that. But again, everything I'm showing you, I do know where the recipes are coming from, so I will link them below so that you guys can give them a try, because those pumpkin muffins, I tell you, are a winner. They are so delicious. Okay, let's check them right now though, because we need to do the toothpick check. Where are my toothpicks? I don't think they're done yet, guys. You can just kind of see by looking at them. Yeah, they're not done. So we'll set them in for maybe another 10 minutes. I have to get Steven's kefir ready for the next couple of days, and he's requested to try a cranberry kefir. So we have this cranberry juice that I canned up. So all it is I just take cranberries. This recipe is actually in the Ball canning book, how to do this. But I just took cranberries, water, and a little bit of sugar, and I just water bath canned it. So this I put in the fridge last night, so it's nice and chilled. All I do is I just take the juice, put it on a strainer, because I don't want any of those cranberries in it, and I just strain out the cranberries. I'll probably just end up giving these to the chickens because I don't really, ooh, I wonder if I could use those in the muffins. Maybe. And then we will just pour that juice into here. And then what I always do, because this is very, very concentrated juice, I usually just take some filtered water and just top it up a bit. Not a lot, just a bit. And then if that's still too tart for me, then I will add more water to it. But Steven says he likes it tart, so just give it a little shake. Our pressure canner has come up to pressure. It's got 34 minutes on it. We just took the muffins out of the oven. They are good and delicious. And then, guys, I want to show you this cranberry. This is the cranberry kefir. I added a little bit of cranberries to it, but it's not going to be as dark as a normal cranberry juice because it is an all-natural one. And then these are our leftover cranberries that I am going to attempt to make some muffins with. That cranberry juice is a terrific idea to do if you can find cranberries that are on sale, preferably if you can find organic cranberries on sale, because to buy an organic cranberry juice, it is really, really expensive. So to be able to make my own, it was great. I actually think I bought those cranberries from Azure Standard last year. I got a 5-pound box of them and I made all of that juice with them. So it's very, very economical to do it that way. So I am just going to go and research and see if I can find a cranberry muffin recipe. I don't have any orange juice right now, and I don't have any like navel oranges. So I'm not able to make like a cranberry orange, which is, oh, I love that so much. I might do like a cranberry lemon. I'm gonna see what I can find. When I find it, I will come back and we will make it together because I need to use those cranberries. I don't want them to go to waste. And I think that's the whole purpose of this pantry challenge, is really not to let anything go to waste. So let's use them up. And I think while I'm sitting down looking for a recipe, I might potentially taste test one of those muffins because it smells amazing in here. So it is done pressure cooking, and I set it for 15 minutes after it was done. So now I am just going to do a natural release. I'm just going to get it out of the way because there's going to be steam coming in. Guys, I think it's time I get a new Instapot. This, I had to kind of fiddle around with this in order to get the pin to drop. It's kind of on the outs. I've had this for probably 6 years, maybe 7 years now. So I've had it for a while. So I think I need to start looking for a new one. That's so sad. I use this so much. But it's crazy because I just made yogurt with it yesterday and the yogurt turned out amazing. So I don't know, maybe it's just being finicky. I know it's definitely being finicky with the slow cooking feature. So what we're gonna do, now that it is completely released, take the lid off, and we are going to remove into this bowl the beef pieces and the onion. And I'm being very careful not to shred the beef because we are leaving this sauce in here to do something else with it. You know what this smells like? It smells like a teriyaki sauce, kind of. I'm excited to try it. Got all of the meat out of there. So now what we're gonna do, in another bowl, we are going to take half a cup of this broth mixture in here. Just add it to the bowl. And then to this bowl with this broth mixture, we are gonna add 3 tablespoons of cornstarch, but I'm gonna use arrowroot. Then we're just gonna whisk it together. What we are gonna do now is we're gonna put this on saute mode because we need to get this liquid in here bubbling. Once this liquid is bubbling, then we are gonna whisk in this cornstarch roux. Okay, so this is bubbling. Pull it out a bit here. So now we are going to add this cornstarch and we're gonna stir continuously for 3 minutes. And I said cornstarch mixture, I meant arrowroot mixture. In 3 minutes, I'm just gonna turn this off, I'm gonna unplug it, and I'm gonna take this insert out. So now we just have to get this meat shredded. I actually went and took all of the onions out of it, just because I don't want Steven to have to worry about picking them out, and they've got good flavoring for me. I can just add them to mine. You can use a fork to do this. I'm doing it the hard way. That's what it looks like. It's a beautiful color. And it shreds really easy. That particular cut of meat is a really good one to use for things like this. Okay, and so it says to pour this over top. And we just wanna stir it in. I did not pour all of that gravy in because it's a lot of gravy. And I don't want it too wet. So that's what it looks like. So, I don't know if you can see it. What we're gonna do is, because it is only 2:30, we're just gonna leave this rest and then we'll just heat this up right before we eat it, and we're going to eat this on top of mashed potatoes. So I think it'll be perfect. Okay, I found a cranberry muffin recipe that looks good. It is from the blog, The View from the Great Island, or The View from Great Island. Again, I will leave a link for you guys. So it's pretty straightforward on how to make it. While I was waiting for that to release, I whisked together the dry ingredients. In this bowl, we have 2 cups of all-purpose flour, half a cup of granulated white sugar. I just used some organic white sugar, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, half a teaspoon of baking soda, and half a teaspoon of salt. So kind of weird, we're gonna add wet to dry. So we're gonna add this to the mixer bowl, and then to the mixer bowl, we are going to add half a cup of avocado oil. The recipe does call for vegetables. And then we are going to add 3/4 cup of milk. It says you could also use half and half. And then 2 large eggs. These are kind of medium eggs. Chickens don't, sometimes they lay large eggs and sometimes they lay medium. So those are kind of a more medium. I hope it's fine. And then we're gonna add 1½ teaspoons of almond extract. It does say that you can substitute for vanilla extract. Do not have almond, but almond is gonna give it that nice, like, I think it's almost like a cherry taste. And I absolutely love the smell of that. Ooh, smells so good. Now we are just, it says to whisk together. I have my whisk attachment on here, so we'll just whisk it until it's all blended together. You guys, this smells absolutely amazing. It's that almond extract. Oh, it smells so good. And then it says to fold in either fresh or frozen cranberries, and it's 2 cups of them. So I don't know if this is exactly 2 cups. This is just what we have, and this is what we're gonna use. But there's a little bit of cranberry juice left. I'm just gonna add that in. The thing with making the cranberry juice is the cranberries still have a lot of like juice and a lot of like meat left in them. So this is perfect way to use those up. Let's get the batter. Again, I'm using those muffin tins from Azure Standard that I ordered. We'll just fill these up. Okay, now we're just gonna sprinkle a little bit of sugar on the top of it. This could be optional if you didn't want to do this. I feel like by doing this, it makes it more kind of a dessert topping. Now we're gonna get these into the oven for 25 minutes. Again, after the 25 minutes, we'll come in, we'll do the toothpick check. Okay, let's give these a check and see if they're done. Puffing up nice. I don't think they're done though, because it says in the recipe for them to be golden brown, and these aren't golden brown yet. Again, we'll go with 10 more minutes. So guys, I have been doing research on making mashed potatoes with canned potatoes, and there's not a lot of videos out there on it. A lot of people just, the videos that they have, it's just them smashing potatoes, which, I mean, that's pretty straightforward. I think what we're gonna do, we're definitely gonna make mashed potatoes because I need to be able to have an option to have mashed potatoes when I don't have fresh potatoes, because we don't have fresh potatoes right now. So I think what I'm gonna do is rinse these off. So pour this out, rinse them off. They are almost all the way cooked. So I think I will maybe try to cook them for like, I don't know, 5 more minutes and then take it from there. So experiment. Hopefully it works out. I have heard that you don't even need to cook them. Like you literally just rinse them off and then make them to mashed potatoes. But I want them to be a little heated up. So we'll see. And then I'm also gonna make some broccoli. We have a tiny bit of broccoli left over. So I'm gonna make that because we also have some cheese sauce left over. So I'm just gonna reheat that cheese sauce. So that is the plan for dinner. We're just waiting on these muffins to finish, and I can't wait. I did not try one of those pumpkin ones yet because I wanted to save my appetite for one of the cranberries. Yay! Okay guys, the muffins are done. I just checked them. The toothpick is coming out clean. Oh, they look so good. They puffed up perfect. Can't wait to have one. I'm gonna get them on the cooling rack. So we have our pumpkin muffins here, and I'm just going to put the cranberry ones beside. I need to get the oven turned off. Okay, time to make the mashed potatoes. I have some starch on the bottom of this jar. I don't know if it's because of the kind of mashed potatoes that I canned, but I do not want to have that in my mashed potatoes. So what I'm going to do is I am going to just drain these potatoes and rinse them off fairly well. I'm going to put them into a pot, and then I'm going to add a little bit of clean water and see if that does the trick. Because the couple of videos that I did see where people made mashed potatoes with them is they used the broth that was already in, or the water that was already in here, and I don't want to do that because it's full of starch. Okay, we got them rinsed off. I'm just gonna add, you know what, I'm gonna add my filtered water. Okay, so I just added about that much water. So the water is probably like to here, so hardly any, just literally just covering it. Then I'm going to put a lid on it, and then we are going to bring this to a boil and literally just cook it, like probably not even 5 minutes, because these potatoes are pretty much already all cooked. We're just trying to heat them up because, like I said earlier, I don't want like a wet, like a cold mashed potato. I want a warm one. So we're just going to heat these up because they're already pretty much cooked, and then we will mash them like we would traditionally mash a regular potato. I am going to keep this strainer out though because we will be straining that. So I am just going to make some broccoli. It's starting to get freezer burn, so I really need to get it used up. And then I have some cheese sauce left over. You guys will see that video next week in the what we eat in a week video. I do show you guys how I made this cheese sauce. So we have some left over. We're just going to use that tonight to put on this broccoli. I'm just kind of debating whether I want to, I think I'm going to put the rest of the bag in here because it's really, there's a lot of ice in it. Almost hardly any of this is broccoli. Most of it's ice. So I just have my water in the bottom of here, and then we'll microwave these for about 5 minutes. I'm gonna put this in the microwave right now though and heat it up. I am gonna pull these off because they are boiling good and we're not trying to cook them anymore. We're just trying to heat them up. So I'm just gonna drain them. We will put them in this bowl. And I'm gonna add some butter to these while they are hot. Okay, and we will add some salt and pepper to these. I'm adding quite a bit of salt because I do not salt my canned goods. So there is absolutely no salt in this whatsoever. So we added quite a bit. And then I'm gonna add just a little tiny bit of cream. My favorite thing to add to mashed potatoes is sour cream. It tastes so good. And then we're just gonna use our mixer and mix these up. I am not 100% sold. It is like, looks like wallpaper paste. Ugh. I'm not happy with it. Let's taste it. It's still clumpy because I can't get it completely done. It's not like the worst thing, it's just, it's definitely got a starchy taste, which is, like, I rinse the potatoes good, so I don't know. I'm not sold on it. I think if I'm gonna be not having fresh potatoes, I really wanna have instant mashed potatoes. I need to get these broccolis out. That's what's beeping at me. I mean, it'll do fine, but I think if I'm not having fresh potatoes, then I think I really wanna have the instant mashed potatoes available because I don't really like that. I'm disappointed. Maybe I'm not doing something right. If you guys know like a trick on how to get it not look like wallpaper paste, that would be good, but we're gonna eat it because I made it. But yeah, if you know a trick, please let me know. Okay, so I am gonna go and get my dinner all plated up. I am looking forward to it. That beef really reminds me of like a teriyaki style beef. So I'm looking forward to it even with starchy potatoes. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. I hope you guys have a great day or night whenever you're watching this, and I will see you on the next video. Bye, guys. There's the plate. So we have our wallpaper paste, aka mashed potatoes, and then I just dripped that sauce. It's really runny. Then we have our broccoli, and then that cheese sauce is a little clumpy because again, it was just reheated. It is a couple of days old. So that is day 18's meal. Bye guys.